Next country we're going to profile is that of our host country here, Hungary. Right out of the collapse of the Berlin Wall, Hungary immediately wanted to become a part of the OECD, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. As a requirement for membership, you have to embrace democratic institutions, and you also have to base your economy on a market economy that is based on supply and demand, basically the orange system. So immediately out of that, Hungary employed systemic deregulation and reforms of their industry. Privatization, they reformed their tax codes, they reformed their tax policies, their trade policy, fiscal policy, educational system. They did all that, building a thick layer of blue, a thick layer of orange, and just enough green so people from under the old system don't have to struggle as we move forward. By the time Hungary joined the EU in 2004, it has done such a good job in doing that conversions part that it had all its loans to the IMF and the World Bank paid off. Okay? Then when a financial crisis hit, Hungary wasn't affected as some of the most advanced economies in the world. So it was resilient. It moved forward. By 2011, it adopted a new constitution. And this is really something that I really want Europeans in the audience to understand. The idea of a new constitution, the example of Hungary is important to understand. It preserves the identity of Hungary while at the same time allowing it to be a part of the EU. I think this is very important. If you remember Dr. Beck's presentation from 2 days ago about meshworks, okay? The EU should not look to be a melting pot. It should be a meshing part, preserving the identity of each country while swimming in a rich broth called the EU. If you can see that imagery, okay? A melting pot makes it all into one big unhealthy green gob. You don't want that. The last economy we're going to profile is that of Greece. How not to integrate. Out of World War II, Greece fell into a civil war. Out of that civil war, it fell into a dictatorship. Greece did not become a democracy again till 1974. But all throughout, from 1950 till about 2000, Greece experienced some of the highest rate of economic expansion, but they were coupled with inflation rates of about 10 to 15% a year. And economists couldn't figure out how. But then, after they joined the EU, we figured out how. Apparently, they've been deficit funding their economic growth for decades. And with the help of our wonderful investment banks in the United States, Goldman Sachs and company, they cleverly cooked the books to hide the debt off books. And so when they joined the EU, none of that debt was apparent. That is not to exonerate the EU and German bankers. There would have been other ways to figure out whether Greece is hiding money or not. But they came in and gave them money anyway, and the financial crisis happened, and Greece is in default. Never looking to see whether they did the conversions necessary, the entire economy stayed in the hands of oligarchs and monopolies, shipbuilders. Okay?